Bred to Win, brought to you by Ennis. The 2022 English Yearling Sale Series. Entries now open.
Hello, I'm Caroline Searcy. Welcome to another edition of Bred to Win as we head towards the spring of 2021. Coming up in this week's show, the beautifully bred Caulfield Guineas winning addition to the Vinery Stud stallion ranks, Ole Kirk, and burgeoning Victorian stallion farm Rosemont Stud welcoming brilliant 2-year-old Hanseatic. And the innovative G1 Goldmine's Matthew Ennis with a great story of racehorse ownership in Arrowfield Studs, the horse who made you love racing. First, though, the Aushorse news of the week. Vinery Stud is mourning the loss of their wonderful stallion Mossman, who died at the age of 26. Having started his career in Queensland, the son of Success Express arrived at Vinery in 2004, producing stars of the track such as Golden Slipper winner Moss Fun, 7-time Group 1 winner Buffering, and other Group 1 winners such as Of Course I Can and Plucky Bell. He'll be buried next to his sire near the Stallion Parade area at Vinery, overlooking the paddock in which he spent his latter years alongside great mate Testarossa.
It's Fobator racing to the lead late.
In the first stakes race of the new Australian season, the Missile Stakes, underrated sire Dream Ahead produced his second winner on the Randwick program in Fobator. The 6-year-old was a $55,000 Magic Millions national sale buy for his trainer Michael Costa and New Breed Racing, and has now won 7 of 12 starts for over $400,000 prize money. Fobator is from the family of star sprinting mare Ruffles.
Remark into the clear, but it's way too late. Palali's off and gone.
The first stakes race for the new season 3-year-olds saw a dominant performance by Godolphin's Palali, who gave away 6 kilos to the runner-up in the Rosebud. By a grandson of Galileo, Dali's 4-time Group 1 winner Dawn Approach, the kindergarten stakes winner is from the Flying Spur mare Chatoyant. His 3-quarter sister Montsegur is the group winning dam of stakes winner Heresy and Cannonbury stakes winner Tessera. Palali is from the Benaria Legally Bay family of international sprint star Merchant Navy.
Groundswell will not be denied.
The English graduate of the week is the regally bred Groundswell, who took his earnings past $600,000 with a win at Flemington on Saturday. By Fastnet Rock from the Broken Shore, a half-sister to Redute's Choice, the full brother to Shoals was a $2.3 million English Easter yearling sold by Arrowfield Stud to Anthony Friedman. Despite not making it as a stallion prospect, the now 5-year-old gelding is starting to live up to his pedigree, having won 6 and placed in 4 of his 19 starts, with plenty more opportunities ahead. The early August English digital sale offers several lots as part of the ongoing Shadwell Stud dispersal, including Ghazali by Hinchinbrook from Wa Whale and Sulwan by I Am Invincible from Eldana. Another highlight of the sale is Moonlight Maid, an Edward Manifold Stakes winner and 2-time Group 1 Oaks place getter by Puissance de Lune. The sale's final bidding starts from midday on Wednesday, August 11. Bred by one of Australia's best, Gilgai Farms' Rick Jamieson, a high-priced yearling and a son of champion Australian sire Written Tycoon, from a full sister to the unbeaten champ in Black Caviar, a 2-year-old stakes winner and winner of the Caulfield Guineas and Golden Rose. The stallion I'm talking about is Ole Kirk, a fabulous new addition to the stallion ranks at Vinery Stud in 2021. Written Tycoon Natural, sister to Black Caviar.
Ole Kirk, North Pacific, bob of the heads, Ole Kirk.
We saw Vinery selling their Exceedance Peace Force colt, $2.1 million. As I said, the $3 million lots for them on the first day.
Yeah, they do a lot of hard work, and it's just great to get the results for them.
We're obviously in quite extraordinary times, aren't we, with COVID lockdowns and heading into spring, you know, so much that's different to a normal spring, I guess. But what an incredible year it's been in the thoroughbred breeding world, with record sales across the board and prize money enticing new owners and really rewarding investors.
Yeah, no, it's been a great year. Like the yearling sales this year have been tremendous, especially from our point of view. You know, this year was the first year we topped the Sydney Easter sales, and you know, prize money is just going from strength to strength, and at all levels, even out in the country. So, yeah, the industry's in a great spot. So we're moving forward.
And Vinery Stud, you have a wonderful mixed roster of stallions. We'll talk about some of them a bit later on, but fitness is really a key part of preparing a stallion for a new season. Explain what you do at Vinery to get them ready.
In July, we start working the horses on the horse walker, which we would generally use for the yearlings. We walk the stallions up to the yearling barn, put them on the horse walker, and put the rollers on them and just tone them up for the season so that they're nice and fit and in great health. That little bit of extra sort of fitness helps them get through a long season.
And of course, always exciting to have a new stallion in the season or heading into the season. The wonderful Ole Kirk, looking at his pedigree, I mean, his sire, Written Tycoon, stands for $165,000, is now a successful sire of sires, and of course his dam is a full sister to the unbeaten champion in Black Caviar. Pedigrees don't get much better than that.
No, that's right. He's a very exciting horse for us to have, and we're thrilled to have him. Without sort of sounding too cliche, he just ticks a lot of the boxes. You know, he does have a wonderful pedigree. Written Tycoon win his first champion sires title. Capitalist, the son of Written Tycoon's doing a great job, so the sire line's going terrific. And that female family is one of the best in the Australian stud book. And of course, it's also the family of All Too Hard, who's doing a fantastic job at stud. So, you know, to have a nice stallion doing a great job in the family is a big advantage as well.
Well, we filmed him as a foal at Gilgai Farm. He's been bred by one of Australia's great breeders, and obviously was a $675,000 yearling. So right from the start, he was an outstanding type.
Yeah, he was. He was obviously a magnificent looking yearling, very athletic. Obviously the pedigree helped, but very forward sort of horse. He's got a lot of quality, got a lovely head. Obviously bred by one of the best breeders in the country. So yeah, he was always, you know, going to be well sought after as a yearling with that family and the looks, and you know, if he happened to run, he was always going to be a great stud prospect, and that's what turned out to be.
Ole Kirk, North Pacific, stride for stride.
Well, it sure did. I mean, as a racehorse, he did what few colts managed to do. 2 Group 1 successes, the Golden Rose, the Sydney Colts Championship of the Spring firstly. I just loved how he fought, and he eventually got on top of the runner-up.
Absolutely, he was the colt of the spring, really. You know, he had a terrific spring, winning the Golden Rose, as you mentioned, but you know, everyone remembers the hard-fought finish he had with North Pacific. But you know, at the top of the straight, he just had a wall of horses in front of him. Tommy Berry looked for a few gaps, which closed immediately, and it wasn't probably until the third door opened that he actually got the split, and then showed an amazing turn of foot to just savage the line in what is, you know, a great stallion-making race. So yeah, he was the spring sort of colt of his year.
Azar with big bold strides, and Ole Kirk coming with it.
I think that those races that he did have in Sydney were great preparation for that Caulfield Guineas, and you know, he just travelled so beautifully in the race, on the rail, sort of midfield, and then peeled his way off, and again savaged the line like a very good horse, leaving, you know, multiple Group 1 winners in his wake. So yeah, he was an exceptional racehorse.
He always had that ability, evidenced by his 2-year-old win in the Talendert.
Yeah, that's right. It was great that he won a stakes race first up down the Flemington Straight, where, of course, Black Caviar, you know, won so many of her fantastic races. And, you know, it's a race where All Too Hard started off as well. You know, he won the Talendert at his first start. To show that great form as a 2-year-old, he was also Group 1 as a 2-year-old. That natural talent, you know, shone through as a 2-year-old, but it was really as a 3-year-old that, you know, they were preparing him for.
What do you see when you look at him now? I mean, obviously, you know, he's only going into his first season, but how would you sum up his actual physical type?
I love him, you know, he's such an athletic horse. As I mentioned before, he's got a real quality head, very athletic, and, you know, He's obviously still got that sort of racing condition on him a bit, you know, much like Exceedance was last year, but you know, I can't wait to see him this time next year once he's got that full season under his belt, and you know, he's going to be really fully mature. But he's a lovely sort of neat horse. He's not too big, so you know, he'll complement a lot of different types of mares. So you know, he fits into our stallion roster, you know, not only on pedigree but physically really well.
And speaking of his great relation, All Too Hard, this season alone his offspring have won 3 Group 1s.
Absolutely, it's fantastic to see him doing what he's doing. He's just had, you know, just the most incredible year. We've sort of got him in a really nice price range as well. You know, he fits in where, you know, we had stallions like Mossman and Testarossa for a number of years, and you know, we just think he's terrific value at that 30,000 plus GST, and from a trading point of view going forward, you know, that's very important. You know, those breeders that breeding colts for the sales to have that, you know, real strong Asian market in the future, you know, targeting the All Too Hards.
Exceedance, you know, a year down the track after covering his first book of mares, he just looks stunning.
He looks magnificent. You know, he's a horse that we've always loved from the time we purchased him as a yearling. It's the Sydney Easter sales. That Coolmore Stud Stakes Day was just a tremendous day for us, and you know, he's changed so much. You know, we've had a lot of people come through the farm to see Ole Kirk. They've also come to re-look at Exceedance, and it's just blown away how well he's done. So if he gets them anywhere looking like he is, then we're going to be over the moon.
And Star Turn, of course, a first season sire in the season just gone. He finished second to Capitalist as far as the number of winners he had. Also had a lovely stakes winner in Miss Hipstar.
You know, we've been thrilled the way he's started off at Stud. It hasn't surprised us too much because he was, you know, as a racehorse himself, he was such a natural 2-year-old and a very forward sort of horse. It's really exciting for the future.
And Headwater too, it's great to see him as the champion second season sire in Australia.
He's another young horse doing a great job. I've said it many times before, but stallion rosters are like football teams. You know, you have some older horses sort of retire, you know, like More Than Ready, and you know, to have these young sort of horses coming up and strengthening the roster is tremendous. He's had 3 stakes winners this year. At 15,000 plus GST, he is just, you know, he represents terrific value for the job he's doing and what he represents. You know, we're having a tremendous run with the young stallions and in the sale ring, and the racehorses coming off the track, so it's onwards and upwards.
The G1 Goldmine analysis of Ole Kirk's sire Written Tycoon shows mares with the blood of Cotter House and Umatilla have forged great success over the years. Cotter House, the dam of Commands and Danewin, has a winners to runners strike rate of 8.3% Group 1 winners and 12.5% stakes winners, including Luna Rossa, Cap Devant and Plutocrat. When mares with dancing shows son Umatilla across with the Written Tycoon sire line, Group 1 winners to runners rises to 18%, with stakes winners to runners an incredible 36%. Examples include Written by Booker and her brother Banquo, and Tasmania's triple stakes winner Hot Dipped. Check how your mare matches up with Ole Kirk for free by going to the Vinery Stud website. A fabulous roster there at Vinery Stud, and so much to look forward to in the future. Coming up on BRED to Win, the Cambridge Stud Performance of the Week, and all the latest from Victoria's Rosemont Stud as they welcome the star 2-year-old Hanseatic.
BRED to Win, supported by Prized Icon, a Group 1 winner of 2 and Derby winner of over $2 million, standing at Coringal Stud in 2021.
Goes the favourite, London Banker, money again.
The Cambridge Stud Performance of the Week came courtesy of their late sire Tavistock, who produced first and third at Doomben over 2,200 metres on Saturday. The winner, London Banker, is from the Encosta de Largo mare Palace de Largo, a full sister to Cox Plate winner El Segundo. He was bought for $100,000 by trainer Roger James, who won 3 races in a row in New Zealand with him last year. He was sold by Kilgraven Lodge at the 2017 2017 NZB yearling sale. London Banker races in the Ron Wanless colours and was followed to the line by third place Tavion Prince, a son of Tavistock, from the Sir Patrick Hogan bred Zabeel mare On Arrival, who also produced tough Victorian galloper Killarney Kid. Rosemont Stud is another growing Victorian operation, investing in high-quality stallions, racing stock around the world and some of our best race mares. In 2021, Anthony Mithen and the team are thrilled to be introducing the flying 2-year-old Hanseatic.
Here's Hanseatic going to Glenfiddich, taking the front. And putting a couple of lengths on the field. Away he goes. Look at this.
Hanseatic's wearing it down and will get up.
Mitho, looking at Rosemont as a whole and the progression of the farm, you have 6 stallions on your books, including Hanseatic we'll touch on shortly, but you've had some great international successes and plenty here too in your wonderful colours, including the great scenes after the Day in Ripper win at Brooklyn Hustle.
Yeah, it's been an amazing couple of years, but a really solid growth year. 2020-21 on the track for our Rosemont horses. I suppose I feel like it's the culmination of 15 years of hard work. It takes a long time to be an overnight success, they say. So our colours are more prominent on the racetrack, which is really exciting, and racing at that elite tier, which everyone aspires to. We've won a couple of Group 1s with horses that we own or have bred this year in Mr. Quickie and Crone. Brooklyn Hustle flying the flag for Star Spangled Banner, and All Saints Eve and All Hallows Eve win a couple of Group 3s as well. So hopefully more exciting times ahead this spring and into next autumn.
You've bought some incredible broodmares this year, some of the best around: Bella Vella, From Within, Fiesta and more.
Ryan McAvoy, who's played an integral part in the management of our bloodstock since coming on board, smacked me with a wet fish in the face and said, look, you probably need more speed and a real focus on what's commercially viable in the Australian market, and that is speed, precocity, 2-year-old form. And we went to all the broodmare sales through this last season with intent in our eyes, and thankfully some money in our pocket to have a real dash at that. We've had to take some deep breaths along the way and go to some uncomfortable places to have our hands still high in the air to buy some of those lovely mares. Full credit to Nigel Austin, my partner in Rosemont, the founder of Cotton On. He gets a great kick out of what we're able to do as business partners at Rosemont, and I think he's really sort of thrown the shoulders back and said, look, Mitho, time to go here. Let's really make an impact here. And we're not getting any younger, but we've still got perhaps youth on our side to build a broodmare band that we can be proud of in our rocking chair in a couple of decades' time.
Hanseatic takes the lead, draws clear.
It really is exciting to have the star 2-year-old Hanseatic standing his first season. I just loved Rancher. He's so similar in his looks and racing style, and the first horse since Rancher to win the Merson Cooper and the 2 Blue Diamond lead-ups, the Prelude and the Preview, and just missed out on the Blue Diamond itself.
Well, we're calling him the new Rancher, Caro, so you've hit the nail right on the head there. He's a horse that we're pinching ourselves that we've got him here at Rosemont, let alone in Victoria, because if he'd had a bit more luck and he'd got over the top of Tagaloa like most good judges thought he should have, he certainly wouldn't be here, and he would be in the Hunter Valley. He's still by Street Boss, who's the best source of precocious speed there is. He's still from the family of Black Caviar, probably the best family in the Australian stud book, and he's still got that unbelievable 2-year-old record. None of that has changed from where we sit, and Victorian breeders and indeed breeders from all over Australia get access to what will be a fantastic source of precocious speed.
Hanseatic's just a great outcome of the Godolphin breeding empire.
He is, yeah, and we're delighted that they've stayed involved in breeding rights in the horse. Whilst we at Rosemont own the horse, they will get exposure through those breeding rights. I think he might be the only horse standing in Australia that enjoys breeding right holders being Darley and Coolmore, would you believe? So the Magnier family and Sheikh Mohammed are both going to cheer for the product of Hanseatic in years to come, because they've both got exposure to the horse. That's an exciting prospect, and that just shows you the depth of people that believe in this horse and the precocious speed that he offers, the bloodlines, street boss factor. It's an amazing family. I mean, Black Caviar's only one name that you can mention. Ole Kirk is off to stud and found a great home in Vinery. We probably think that we got the precocious one, the one that was the gun 2-year-old. He looks like a 2-year-old. He's got spark coming off him, and if he gets one as fast as Black Caviar, I'll be delighted. But if he's a couple of lengths short, I think we'll be going okay as well. There's a growing theory that maybe Magnus mares and all too hard mares breeding back into that female side might really suit Hanseatic. So that's well worth breeders thinking about if they've got one of those mares tucked away in a paddock. When I sat back and reflected on it over a nice glass of red, dislocating my shoulder, giving myself a pat on the back at the job I'd done, I thought, well, it all makes sense, and I can see why this horse is super popular and is going to be easily the best supported stallion in Victoria this year. I hope that we're all right.
Strasbourg grabbed the lead late in succession, but Strasbourg has won by a neck accession.
Black cats have black kittens, they tell me, and this horse is going to have the most unbelievable crop of first foals. He is a magnificent specimen, and he's all I'm invincible. You look at him and you can see why Harry and Arthur Mitchell have dubbed him the horse most like the stallion that they've ever put through an auction ring. You can see why they were first on the phone to buy breeding right in Strasbourg. So it's been great to work with China Horse Club on this horse and partner with them and get their support. He covered close to 120 mares in his first season. If he gets 2-year-old runners and winners and lights up the stage in that space with his first crop, well, you're going to want a second crop yearling to sell.
Such a coup to get the Cox Plate winner by Snitzel's Shamus Award in Victoria, and what an incredible season he had.
That's for sure, because when we announced his fee back at Easter time, he hadn't had Duais win an Oaks, and he hadn't had Media Award win an Oaks, and he hadn't had the most exciting stayer in the country come out, incentivise and string all those races in a row together. So while I feel a bit clever about myself standing Shamus Award here at Rosemont, I think breeders that are booked in at 30 grand back at Easter time and filled his book up pretty quickly, they're feeling very proud of themselves, and so they should. He stamped himself as by far and away Snitzel's best son at stud, and we can enjoy all the successes that a Shamus Award has got coming quite rightly to him in the ensuing years.
And Star Spangled Banner on his way back from Europe now, but again, as a sire of sires, the Wow Signal siring this year's French 1,000 Guineas winner.
He's a stallion that I think is unbelievably underrated here in Australia. Those fertility issues are long gone, and I think breeders still here in Australia associate Star Spangled Banner with fertility issues, and as a result we just haven't been able to get the numbers to him. So therein lies some opportunity to breed a really fast one like a Brooklyn Hustle or a Wow Signal. They're there. There's not as many as I would like out there. He can get you a Group 1 horse, he can get you a sale ring result, and he can get you, most importantly, a fast one, and that's what we should be all about trying to breed, I suppose.
Nostradamus has a really smart Western Australian filly in Clairvoyance, and the huge influence Starcraft is now 21.
Starcraft's been a superstar horse for breeders, breeding colts up into the Hong Kong trade market. His broodmare statistics as a broodmare sire are off the charts, to be honest. It was a great honour to see him inducted into the New Zealand Hall of Fame. He's been a star, he's well named, and we do smile when we think about him. And Nostradamus, an emerging stallion that it'd be fair to say he's on the cusp of making it commercially or really falling into that breed to race sort of category, but he's got some stakes horses. Some really encouraging signs for a horse that we can get breeders into at a cheap rate. We're more than happy to help them out and get them breeding to Nostradamus. I think the important thing to note is that we're having a crack in Victoria, and it's not just Rosemont. There's Yulong and Three Bridges and Darley, Victoria. We've got some lovely stallions standing, Swettenham Stud. I've left other stallion farms out there, I know, but I think the point to make is that everyone's in there having a crack. There's a real confidence about Victoria and the type of horse that we're breeding here. Hopefully we're offering them that opportunity with our stallion roster, and we take on outside clients with broodmares and yearling preparations. We're an all-encompassing business, and we're open for business, and hopefully it's Victoria going places, that's for sure.
Rosemont Rosemont Stud, a great operation for Mytho and the team. Coming up on BRED to Win, G1 Goldmine's Matthew Ennis with a personal story in Arrowfield Studs, the horse who made you love racing.
BRED to Win, supported by Hanover Lodge, preparing the elite racehorse. This segment brought to you by Arrowfield Stud, the brand worth its weight in gold.
That would have to be Deploy. Bill Mitchell sourced Deploy on confirmation, and his page was exceptional by Fastnet Rock out of Crimson Rain. I can clearly remember the ownership group, the excitement within the group after his second trial, coming out and winning against Headwater and Press Statement, who we now know, were exceptional. Deploy himself came out and ended up having a fantastic career. Multiple group winner, was in the first Everest, which was an absolute surreal experience being involved in that Everest. Although we didn't win, it was still such an amazing and fun time with the group. But for me, it wasn't really Deploy's career, although they were certainly highlights. That wasn't what made me love racing. It would have to be Deploy's ownership group. I mean, we had Kevin Maloney from Sedge & Ho, we had John and Pam Cornish from Toryburn Stud, and then we had David Raphael, who's incredibly experienced within the industry himself, and then we had me. And what I loved most about this story is that we had these three really experienced sets of individuals or groups of people that welcomed me into the group and treated me as a peer. I mean, they ensured that I was at every function, that I was, consulted with every decision. It was just an amazing, heartwarming experience right through. And the friendships that I developed with John and Pam Cornish were amazing, David Raphael and Kevin Maloney, I see and speak to all of them continually. So it would definitely, without a doubt, have to be Deploy and his ownership group. A positive experience sets a path and an ultimate career or an ultimate endpoint within the industry, and that's certainly true for me. Deploy set the stage for me and showed me that it was an industry that I definitely wanted to be a part of. I probably wasn't aware at what capacity. It's a large capacity. I'm running one of the largest online breeding platforms worldwide, and we're super excited where that is going to lead not only us and the purchases that I continue to make, but also the influence and help that we can assist other breeders and farms moving forward.
It's great to see how having a share in a horse can get so many people involved in the racing industry, and thanks to Matthew Ennis and G1 Goldmine for their support of BRED to Win. That's the show for this week. Coming up next week, historic Widden Stud with the stunning son of Not a Single Doubt, Anders, and Adam Sangster and the team, welcoming the sire of an Everest winner, Rubik, to Victoria in 2021. That's all next week. I'm Caroline Searcy. I look forward to seeing you then.
BRED to Win, brought to you by Inglis, the 2022 Inglis Yearling Sale Series. Entries now open.